La 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 la
Hey, you
la
folks.
la
I'm
la
Camille Who
la
Armstrong,
la
the
la
performing
la
arts Renaissance woman. For over
la
40 years, I've worked as a
la
performer, educator,
la
consultant, and
la
coach. But most importantly, I'm a parent. From classrooms to stages to bedtime routines, I've spent my life nurturing creativity, character, and connection in the next generation. This series is for you, whether you're expecting, learning as you go, or parenting for the first time, or even third time around. I'm here to share the insights, tools, and real talk I've gathered over 4 decades of hands on experience. Welcome to Camille Who, the Child Whisperer. I'm so glad you're here. Hey again, this is Camille Who, the Child Whisperer. And in this mini series within the parenting series, we are uncovering 8 parenting blueprints. It's what I like to call the 8 parenting blueprints. These are unconscious patterns that we tend to default to when we're stressed, when we're tired, when emotions run high. We covered the overachiever parent, we covered, or the overachiever blueprint, the hero blueprint, we covered the rebel blueprint, and we covered the perpetuator blueprint. I advise you to go back to those videos and check them out because this one could be yours. Those ones could be yours. It's just good to have awareness, right? I'm going to repeat that a lot of these things I've seen in myself, a lot of these patterns I've seen in myself, became aware of it, talked to other parents about it, saw that we have a lot of similarities, and the most similar thing that I realize that we have as parents is that most of us don't look at that. Most of us do not examine ourselves, our childhood, our experiences, our past, and realize how much those things in our past, in our childhood, has shaped the parent that we've become today, or the parent that we will become that we don't even know that we're about to, right? We may have the best intentions, but what happens when stress comes in, when emotions run high, when sleep deprivation hits, we default to things that we never thought, or we always swore that we wouldn't default to those things. Today we're going to uncover a pattern or a blueprint that is, it seems protective, but really silently it becomes restrictive. It's the prohibitor parent. Now, if you have said to yourself, my child will never go through what I went through, this one might seem a bit familiar to you. This parent has witnessed addiction, destructive habits, trauma, self sabotage, broken lives, maybe personally, maybe in a sibling, maybe in a parent, maybe in a career path. Their instinct is understandable. Not my child, not ever. Instead of educating, they eliminate. Instead of preparing, they prohibit. They try to keep drugs away, sugar away, certain careers away, certain people away, certain environments away. But the world is larger than a parent's control, and what is forbidden without explanation becomes fascinating to a child. The driver here is fear of repetition, fear that history will repeat itself, trauma will resurface, weakness runs in the family, exposure equals inevitability. The prohibitor believes if I remove the temptation, I remove the threat. But avoidance is not education. Here's a story as an example. A father, in fact, I've actually seen this. a few times. A father was once a musician and had a rough go. Let's face it, the music industry is, I mean, and a lot of industries are really flooded with all kinds of temptations, drugs, alcohol, sex, right? This is there's a lot of different temptations, and really as a musician, if you're really good, people throw these things at you, okay? And if you don't know, if you're not educated, if you don't know how to navigate your way through it, then you are really just in danger of falling right into it, into that hole. So here's a father that was a musician and fell into that hole, and he became addicted, or he watched other people become addicted and die around him. Maybe he just ran from the career, either because he finally climbed his way out of addiction, or he saw too many people around him die or go to jail or just end up in really bad places. So he said, you know what? Has a new life now. He's married, he's had a child now, and he has decided within himself, my child is never going to go through what I went through. Very understandable. However, running the complete opposite way, going to the opposite end of the spectrum, one is in danger of running right back into the very problem that you were trying that one was trying to avoid in the first place. Here's your scenario. He's decided, never will my child go through all of this. Now, his son is a very gifted drummer, rhythmist, like really good at rhythm and really good at drumming. And he taps everywhere. That's kind of his calling. And he taps everywhere. Everywhere he goes, he's tapping on a desk. He's tapping on his chest. He's tapping on his lap. He's tapping with things, with spoons, with sticks, with pencils. Okay? This is what he's destined to do. But his father is like, oh, no, no, no. He prohibits him from joining the school band, from getting drum lessons. He does not want him to go into that world at all. Okay. So what happens? The child ends up being suppressed, and maybe later on goes, oh my goodness, as you know, as an adult, uh, gee, I could have done this. Like I wasted so much time, and then they end up having resentment for the parent for prohibiting them. Or another possibility is that child then secretly looks for ways to encourage or hone that craft. And it can be something as simple as that child went to a birthday party and his friend's brother has a drum kit, and he goes and he plays the drum kit, and everyone's like, what? Oh my goodness, that's so good. Play another song. And they're just giving him praise and positive reinforcement. And he's seeing like, well, there's nothing what's so bad about me playing drums, and just people playing drums for people. It's not a big deal. Maybe my father lied to me. So what does that child do? Now secretly goes to look for ways to play those drums. The danger in that is that they now are they don't know how to navigate their way in that world. What now happens is the child is now being secretive, now being dishonest, right? And now they're going to, okay, maybe they go to their friends and they keep going and playing, and maybe they're going to parties, and now they're going to, like they're just looking for other ways to just secretively feed that hunger of theirs and feed really their destiny, okay? But because dad has not educated him on the environment that he could be around, he doesn't know how to navigate his way in that environment. He's not educated enough to choose wisely, and he doesn't know how to recognize addiction when he sees it. So he's now in danger of falling into the very same patterns that his father either once witnessed with some of his best friends, who are also musicians, or he's experienced himself. This is the danger of trying to prohibit your child and not even just completely avoiding the conversation, avoiding the topic altogether, avoiding the environment, avoiding the career choice. Now, here are some thoughts that go along with the prohibitor blueprint. I struggled with this. My child must never experience it. Sugar ruined my health. No sugar ever. Music led to drugs. No music career. The feelings that go along with those thoughts: fear, anxiety, hyperprotection, desperation to control outcome, actions that come from those feelings, total elimination, avoidance, silence, no discussion, no moderation training, no exposure with guidance, instead of education plus moderation. And the results of those actions for the parent: constant vigilance, tension, control fatigue, anxiety about what might slip through. And for the child, curiosity increases, taboo fascination grows, sneaking behavior develops, lack of moderation skills, higher risk of binge behavior, possible addiction patterns. Because when something is never discussed, only forbidden, it becomes powerful. Sugar becomes rebellion. Music becomes danger. Freedom becomes secrecy. So a parent can't be with their child 24 hours a day. You can't prevent them from everything. There's going to be circles that your child's going to be around. Your child's going to be in different education circles, in different club circles. There's going to be different circles. You cannot be there 24 hours a day. Just like a parent can't teach their child every single thing that they need to learn, they cannot be there to prevent everything, to suppress everything, to guard everything. That's just impossible. But you can prepare your child for anything. This really comes with just having conversation. Just having conversation. When my children were younger, and I would say um, upper elementary and middle school age, I started having conversations around the dinner table about drugs, about sex. And these were not necessarily, I just first I let them take the lead, meaning I want them to know I want to know what they know. So I would ask them, what do you know about this? Okay, good. Then I would correct them on, on the theories that they have or the things that they've heard from their peers, right? Which their peers don't know what adults would know. Their peers know just as much as they do, right? They're at the same level. But as an adult, I can now guide what they know, and because they've been having this conversation with me, they're not afraid to come to me to have these conversations, right? If they witness it. So now, so around the dinner table, we were having these conversations. This is what this actually is, and this is what, why it's important or why it's not important, or this is why it's dangerous and why it's not dangerous. And if you don't have an appetite for it, then you're not going to miss it. But pay attention to what happens when you see one of your friends that has opened up their appetite. Okay, I'm going to tell you what you're going to see. You're going to see A, B, C, D, E, right? And what happens is then my child comes home, any one of them, they would come home to me and go, Mom, you know what I saw? We saw this and that, such and such and such. Like, I saw this person behaving that way, just like you said. Now they're not afraid to talk to me about this. They're not hiding these things now, and then they know what to look for. So they know how to go, oh, okay, you know what? I'm good. And I gotta say, I had most of my children, 3 out of 4 went to private schools, charter schools, specialized high schools, okay? Where you would think that in those environments, certain temptations are not going to be around, but guess what? They were. And you know what? Because my kids, we were having these conversations. It was nothing that was taboo about it. They just knew how to navigate their way through it. They knew how to recognize addiction and really addiction. They recognize all of these different kinds of behaviors and was able to tie it to those particular conversations that we had. They were also very open with me, and whenever they were presented with the opportunity to have these things, they were like, "No thanks. I'm good. You do you. I'm good." They were not tempted by drugs, by sex, by alcohol. I mean, like I said, I had sons that were like, girls were throwing themselves at them and they were like, "I'm good. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate your compliment. I'm good. I got to do what I got to do here." Okay? And maybe there were other things that maybe we didn't talk about, but I knew that those big dangers were not going to be a problem with my kids because we had those conversations openly. They were prepared to deal with and navigate their way through and recognize whatever they needed to recognize in those environments in order to avoid those things. Children must learn self control, moderation, decision making, and boundaries. There's no way you can learn that without having conversation, without awareness that there are things to have boundaries for, to have self-control with, to learn moderation within. I'm not saying give your child drugs. I'm just saying have the conversation and don't avoid it altogether. Awareness resets everything. To the prohibitor parent, your strength is your awareness of danger. Your weakness is your attempt to erase it. What if your job isn't to remove every threat, but to build a child strong enough to face one? What if teaching moderation is safer than banning entirely? Preparation beats prohibition. Here are some questions I want you to ask yourself. What are you trying to erase from your past? What topics feel too dangerous to discuss? What are you avoiding instead of educating? Are you raising a shielded child or a strong one? The prohibitor parent doesn't need to fear less, they need to teach more. Fear is actually our friend if it doesn't make us completely prohibit things, if it doesn't make us completely stay away from things. Fear, we can use that to prepare us for things. If you have a fear of falling, you make sure you hold on to every possible thing you can instead of going, "Don't climb." That's just a light example. There are many other examples, okay? But fear can be your friend. So it's not about fearing less, it's about educating your child. I'm going to tell you right now, your child will encounter the world. You want to make sure that they encounter it trained, that they have had these conversations with you. And if they start by having these conversations with you, they're going to have no fear coming right back to you and having these conversations later. Stay tuned. Next video will be a whole other blueprint or unconscious parent that we default to. I'm Camille Who, and I am out of here.
Thank you so much for watching this episode of Camille Who, the Child's Whisperer. A heartfelt thank you to the generous supporters of the Books and Beyond campaign. This series wouldn't be possible without you. If you're a new or expecting parent, I created Better Parent, Better Future just for you. I empower first-time parents to embrace a positive mindset and navigate those early parenting years with confidence and joy. Click the link in the description to learn more or to find out how we can work together. Until next time, keep showing up, keep growing, and keep leading with love.